Get ready with me whilst I get you ready for the Bahrain F1 race weekend. And as per usual, the makeup will be based on the Bahrain flag. F1 is taking to the Bahrain International Circuit between the 11th and the 13th of April. And here are the UK timings. On track, the drivers will be facing 15 corners and 3 DRS zones. And on race day, they will be going around 57 times. So what are the 3 characteristics of the circuit that you need to know about? Firstly, there are a number of overtaking opportunities, namely T1, 4 and 11, as they come off the back of DRS zones, and 1 and 4 are particularly heavy braking zones. Secondly, the track is not only quick, but it also tests drivers' abilities. For example, T10 is rather difficult, so drivers can lose time here, and there is a real mix of corner speeds, so their braking and acceleration capabilities will be tested. Thirdly, whilst I classify it as a night race, it does start at sunset, so drivers are also going to have to cope with adjusting to varying light conditions. But let's talk about predictability for a hot second. Since 2017, a safety car has come out at every single race except for 2024. So with a relatively long time spent in the pit lane, teams may be banking on another safety car. Also, in the past 5 years, 4 races have been won by the pole sitter. Next up is tyre talk time. Pirelli have selected the C1s to C3s, which is the same as last year, but they could have gone harder because they now have the C0s. This track is typically a 2-stopper, and last year it was C1s and C3s. But like I said, the compounds have changed, so I do think we could see the C2s come into play. Furthermore, Pirelli think that whilst a 2-stopper is most likely, a 1-stopper is definitely realistic. However, something to note is that the surface is very abrasive, and the tyres will be subjected to a decent amount of thermal degradation, so tyre management will be key. Also, the location of the track means that sand can be blown onto it, which can impact tyre grip. And speaking of grip, traction will be very important as well. Speaking of the wind, how is the weather looking? Throughout the day, it will be very sunny, so track temperatures are going to be quite high, and whilst they're on track, the ambient temperatures will be between the mid-30s and the high 20s. Lastly, what are the news stories that you need to know about going into this weekend? Firstly, there are 6 drivers taking part in the mandatory FP1 rookie driver swaps, which isn't that surprising, because FP1 and FP3 aren't really representative conditions for the race or for qualifying because of the timings and therefore the conditions. Secondly, when it comes to upgrades, it seems like it is just Ferrari who might be bringing a new floor, and I say might because it is being reported that about half the team are saying, yeah, go on, let's do it, let's bring the new floor, and then the other half are saying, hold on, we need to fix the stability first, else we can't properly assess how well the floor is working for the aerodynamics. Finally is Creeder's podium predictions, and Lando said in an interview that the slow corners on this circuit don't really suit the McLaren as well as it does perhaps for Max, and so for some reason I feel like we might have Verstappen, Piastri and Russell.